Hey, Cardinals fans. Welcome to the Redbird Rundown. I'm Jonathan, joined by Matt and Andy. And in this episode, we are going to walk through a few improvements each of us would suggest in Major League Baseball. Be interested to see what those are. Of course, you can email the pod at redbirdrundown@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at redbirdrundown2, on Blue Sky at Redbird Rundown, and follow us on Facebook at Redbird Rundown Podcast. After you listen to the show, please be sure and just take a second and rate the show, review it on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to it. It's the best way to get the show out there so more listeners can join in, and we obviously would appreciate if you did that. But before we get into the rundown here, I have an interesting story for you fellas here.
Oh, can't wait. Okay,
we haven't really talked in like a while, so go for it.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was on vacation this last week. And as we were flying back, we were in the Phoenix airport. And I've never been to the Phoenix airport. Have you guys ever been there?
I had a layover there once, just a short one, but yeah, I have been there.
Same.
Very long airport,
Yes.
just really long.
Yeah.
You know, like
Good
we're walking.
walking walkways. Love those things. But
Yeah.
ride those all day.
Oh,
Walking walkways. The people who stand on the walking walkways
no.
get over to
You
the side, bro.
you gotta like speed walk to like be sprinting down.
You do. And when you're on there, like you feel like a superhero.
Yes,
You
you
do.
do.
Like one walk is a running stride. You know,
Yeah, it's so great.
Okay, so I'm walking down like our gates in the C section. You're like, oh, it must be just right up here. And I look to the left and it's like, go this way. And it's like 2.5 miles down the straight path, as you guys know. Okay. So I'm walking along and I'm talking to my wife and there's people going back and forth. And I look to my left. I'm like, wait, I think I know that person.
Uh-oh. Heim?
And I'm like, who is that? No, I'm like, it was Eric Fetty.
Oh, wow.
How random is that?
That is
I thought it was
incredibly
gonna be
random.
Brant Brown. I was gonna be really excited.
I was waiting. I was walking and I was like, wait, that guy looks kind of familiar. Like we're walking, like, I'm going one direction, he's going the other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I recognize that face. Dude's really tall. And I was
Okay.
like, okay. All right. And I looked and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was a Cardinal player. She's like,
Okay.
I was like, what? Look at my phone, pull up Eric Fetty. I'm like, it was Eric Fetty. I was like, what the heck? He was with his wife. He had a hat on backwards, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was him." Now I couldn't say anything to him because
Yeah.
we were walking different directions, and to catch
Yeah.
back up with him would have been like walking back to where I came from,
Right.
which was like 3 miles the other way.
Yeah.
But if we were walking the same direction, I 100% would have said that. But this guy behind me, who just another guy walking, was like, "Was that somebody famous?" And I'm like, "I mean, kinda." He made
How do you
9
say?
billion.
Yeah.
I think.
He's
That's
a
kinda
mid-rotation starter in the MLB. Yeah, it's pretty famous. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and what's funny though is so I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, hey, that was a Cardinal player, and she's like, who was it? And I said, oh, it's Eric Fetty, and she's like, oh, I don't really remember who that is. I'm like, we traded Tommy for him. She goes, I hate him. But I was thinking,
man.
what would I say to Eric Fetty? If I
Yeah,
had a
what would you have
chance?
said?
I feel like I maybe would have.
Hey
been
man,
like,
what are some changes you'd like to make to the MLB?
Redbird Rundown, come on the pod.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. Hey, you mind for a quick interview here? No, I think I would have been like, hey man, you've been really fun to our team, but we're probably going to trade you. So thanks.
Yeah.
We'll probably trade you at the deadline.
Yes.
Yeah, really. I was surprised at how tall he was, though. He I mean, I don't know. I didn't look at his
6'4".
Is he 6'4"?
I had no idea who he was, so I had to look him up.
Yeah, he's pretty tall. But then you got to think like we're just like everybody else flying Southwest.
Yeah.
No,
I sure didn't make 9
One of
million
us.
last year, but he was flying Southwest all the
one
same.
of
man.
us.
One of us. He's getting that extension on them pitches, getting that Y-axis.
That is
getting
so
those
true.
angles.
So,
Yeah.
boy, I wish
I
it
guess
would have
that's
been
what you should
better.
talk to him. You could have
Yeah.
just come on with an advanced pitching metric.
That would have been so funny.
Hey man, how's your wide movement on that
Yeah.
fastball?
You've been working on that movement.
Hey, I was
Oh, my
reviewing
gosh.
some tape of your pitches. and,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Could
Hey,
you
really?
imagine
Yeah.
if we did that? We just
Oh
like
yeah.
oh man.
rush people at the airport and said stuff like that. How freaked out people would be.
Really glad I saw you, Eric. Was just checking out some of your tape.
Yeah, let's run over this for a little.
Yeah, real fast. What do you
I was
think?
grinding on vacation. Yeah.
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 So there you go. So there's my story. Phoenix has a special place in my heart here for seeing
Okay.
a Cardinal player. And I've seen some random people in airports. So chalk that one
Yes,
up.
yeah.
he,
You
he
get
kinda
lucky.
He kind of just looks like an average Joe, though, like Eric Fetty does.
Yeah,
Like,
he does.
other than the fact that he's 6'4".
I
which
was
is,
going to
you
say
know,
that's pretty good recognition skills
Yeah.
because Fetty's
Mhm.
not, he's not been a part of the team all that long. And for you to be like, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
because I feel like in airports you're kind of just always scanning. Like you're
Yeah.
just like I feel like I'm just like looking. Like I'm not really. I don't know.
People
So-
watching. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to do that. But anyway, yeah. So there you go.
I got eyes on the walkways. That's all I'm looking at in the airports.
Bob's just flying
trying to
along.
find
I
them
am.
so you can. Yeah.
I am, man.
That's so funny.
Oh,
That is so funny. All right. Well, I'm trying to think of a good transition for a walking walkway. We're gonna speed walk our way to some
ooh, yeah.
possible MLB changes. Like superheroes, we're just gonna come in, drop these ideas, and they're just gonna fly by everybody as this really kind of falling apart. But it's
That's all
fine.
right.
We brought 2 to 3 ideas for change for Major League Baseball, and I thought I would take just a second to contextualize where I kind of feel like the MLB is, and let you guys weigh in too. I think of the major pro sports leagues, I think that MLB is like solidly in third place. NFL 1, NBA 2, MLB 3. And honestly, if you start throwing in some college sports, I think MLB might slip to number 4 or even maybe number 5.
Hmm.
As far as like the players are concerned, it would shock me if this is not the most talented that baseball has ever been because of some of the things we've been talking about this all these advanced stats and it's like we've scienced our way to peak baseball. But
Mm.
I'm kind of concerned about the future of baseball. Not that it won't exist, but like my kids have
Yeah,
nothing at
yeah.
all ready for baseball, and I don't know if Andy's kids do. So I don't know. Where do you guys think just generally about where baseball is?
Hmm. Andy, how about you go with you? You know, you have a son who at least
Yeah, he's playing
he's
baseball.
playing.
So the baseball scene in small rural Southern Illinois is pretty lively. It's pretty intense, the sports circuit down here. But I would also agree that they've got to be a little careful because, like you said, Matt, baseball is on a downward trend just because
Hmm.
of attrition, if you will. Whereas like soccer, even American soccer, football is getting big names up there and is make I'm lit. I'm not kidding. I seen just I have seen a way more soccer attire on people than
Mm,
I have ever in my entire life. Like I went down to Florida and I felt like
Yeah.
every third person was wearing something
okay.
soccer. And
Okay.
I'm talking kids, like young kids were wearing soccer stuff. Like the 8 through 12 year olds were wearing
Interesting.
soccer stuff.
So you're kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes a lot of money. It's billions of dollars, but
but they got to
it's
do something.
yes, right. Okay,
I would
Jonathan.
love to know. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like back in the times before I followed, like prior to where I was born or early 2000s, like
Hmm.
was it more popular at a global stage? Because what you're saying, whenever I was on vacation, I saw a bunch of kids in Mbappe jersey,
Yeah,
Messi, and those are like international top 1% of the 1% superstars.
right.
Shohei is that, but
He
baseball
is.
is just more It's just I know we know this, but it's a regional thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like back in the '90s, or like I say the '90s because I'm thinking like the heyday Bonds and
Hmm.
Randy Johnson and Griffey. Like, was it way more popular then, or because it's a regional thing and we like it, we don't really know? Like,
Right.
was it way more then, or is it now? It actually has fallen because of the
Well,
NFL and these
I,
other things.
I mean, I think like TV ratings were probably higher once upon a time, but I feel like I hear that with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like this show in the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s would draw this many millions of viewers, and the most
Mm-hmm.
popular show draws a third of that. So I think it just kind of points to this splintering of entertainment. And
That's yeah.
as far as what I was thinking of is for MLB changes as we dive in here, that's how I tailored mine was how do we get a better product? And I was less about
Me too.
individually the Cardinals and I was more about the game as a whole.
That's what I did, and I agree with that. I think you're spot on
Yeah.
with the splintering of the streaming and the. It's hard to take that metric and be like, well, the MLB is dying because the numbers are
No,
down.
I
I think
don't
there's a
think
lot
it's
of reason.
dying.
No. I just think
Yeah.
there's a lot of reason why
It's hovered around. I just looked
it's
it up real
popular.
quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's hovered around about so just a poll of things that are. It's not like viewership. It's just simply
Right.
what's your favorite sport to watch.
Okay.
Football's at 41% of
Yeah.
Okay.
people. Basketball's at 10. Baseball's at 9. Soccer's at 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, it's right there with basketball right
Yeah.
now. But that
Okay.
doesn't mean. Yeah, I didn't look up viewership.
Yeah, sure. Well, Jonathan, as far as changes go, why don't you
Yeah.
kick us off? Why don't you bring us your first one?
I,
I think we all have 2 or 3 and we'll just rotate around.
yeah. I'm going to start with the obvious ones first, and I think the one that I have towards the end is a little more out there, like
Okay.
Oh, I don't
a little
know.
wilder.
I got two out there. So don't
Okay,
worry.
okay. Well, and I know they're talking about doing this already, but this one's geared more towards just the product on the field and maybe giving offensive players more of an advantage or at least catch up with the pitchers. It is the challenge system for balls and strikes.
Okay.
I know they want to do that, it'll be
Right.
implemented in a couple years. So that's why I wanted to do this one first, because
Is it gonna be
I
like
do think
tennis to where it's gonna have an animation and hit the line? Like I
yeah,
need that.
it does. It does in AAA.
Good. I need
Yeah.
that.
I've
Yeah.
seen it at some of the games I've been to. And it's very quick, super quick. You don't really know when you're there though, when they're challenging it. You know,
Mhm.
like in tennis, like
We need
they're
to
talking to the
we need
judge
to
and you can
launch the
tell.
red flag out
Yeah.
onto the field, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
And I don't exactly. I don't know how many you get, like just to not break up the flow of the game. But I think that would help immensely when it comes to these pitchers are painting the corners at 97 with these
Yeah.
huge, with just all this movement. If you can give batters a little bit of say so in this and allow them to have a chance, I think it would help from a viewership perspective. And I also think it's kind of fun when you're at the ballpark. Because whenever I was there and people challenged it, everybody's like, "Oh, is it going to be a strike?" And it was like barely off the line, and people cheered if it was what they wanted or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a good idea. And again, that's an easy one
To cut deeper on that, do the amount of challenges you get, is that based on the umpire's what's that called? When
Like
they
if
do
you're
the
right,
review?
it doesn't charge. It doesn't
Well,
charge you one.
Yes.
That, but also like who's behind the plate. Like they have stats on umpires now. Of, like
Oh,
their
so if it's
accuracy.
Angel
Oh, yeah.
Hernandez, if it's Angel Hernandez, they get like 84.
That's what I mean. Like,
challenges.
yeah, is it that niche? Yeah, like we're like,
Okay.
well, this guy kind of sucks, so you get 5.
Yeah, I that is what I struggled with when I was thinking about this. Was would you do it by you get, I don't know, 10 a game? Do you get
Right.
2
I guess
an
it depends how
inning?
fast it is. Yeah.
I think it just depends on how fast. I don't remember how they did it in the minor leagues, but anyway, I think that would help from a couple of different perspectives. But I would really enjoy watching that myself.
Yeah.
I know I would.
So I'm thinking Newt just rockets directly into like Juan Soto status. Yeah. And Matt Carpenter might be ending a Hall of Fame career.
I mean, that's no
thousands
kidding.
of times. I mean,
that could really change. Like you talk about WAR, like that could change the trajectory and the outcomes of so many games.
Yeah,
especially
if the batter
on base
knew,
percentage. Yeah.
I mean, if the batter knew that they had a challenge available, like all the time we see these professional guys who've seen just as many balls and strikes as the umpires have.
And I think it strikes a really nice balance between removing the umpires with just like, we're the AI, the robo, umps.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of nice to still have somebody behind the plate because it is still hilarious.
Technology. Yeah.
Yeah. Aided by technology, but it's hilarious to have somebody run out there and cuss them out. Like that's just like part of baseball,
Yeah.
Where I think it'd be a nice balance.
Yeah, I would definitely vote to implement this. I think it'd be very interesting. And as you said, they're already doing this in the minors. I think you can do this without adding significant time to the game. And I also agree. I think that pitchers are on the cusp of like the limits of the human ability to react and hit a baseball. So we got to give these batters a little bit of help because there doesn't need to be offense back in the game, I think.
Yeah, this would help. I agree.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off of that before we go to Andy, because I also have one that this one would be a bigger change to the game, but this was with more offense in mind. I think that they should push the mound back a little bit. It's been 60 feet, 6 inches for however long it's been. And when that was implemented, that was just an arbitrary, there's no specific reason why it is that. So I do have. I guess let me cover my fears first, and then I'll try to like tell you why I think they should do it. The fear is you back the mound up a little bit, and that there's more pitcher injuries, and there are already a rash of pitcher injuries. So I think that would be the concern. But if we kind of like move past that, I think like you just take that velocity down a little bit. You go from guys showing 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. If you can get it back down to 93, 94, 95, 96. I know you guys remember this growing up. There were all kinds of guys hitting over 300 when we were growing up.
Oh yeah,
you rarely see that anymore. And I just kind of think it would be good for the product. It would be good for kids if there was more action. And so I would be in favor of them, piloting this in the minor leagues, but then bring it to like push that back and take that velocity down just a notch.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I was just thinking about like who have been like the highly touted prospects over the last 5 years, and a lot of them are pitchers.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah,
right. And like it's fun. I think all of us on this pod would agree that it's fun to watch somebody dice somebody up. Like it's really it is a lot of fun. But
it is.
To the general fan, it's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if at the All-Star break people were batting 330 with 35 runs and 89 RBIs? You know what I mean? Like that would be fun to see.
Right. Andy, what do you think?
Well, it's not one of my 3.
No.
My 2 actually. But I was just thinking to go off of that, it would be really funny to you talking about the pitchers, just off the cuff here, if I've seen a couple of like Mexican games where the pitcher's mic'd up and
Okay.
and he's talking into his glove what he's gonna throw
Oh,
and why and what like in the moment and like
interesting.
so that the audience now obviously that's real bad of in terms of like tipping off the opposing team, that your kind of mental process, blah blah
Mhm.
blah. But that kind of like Tony Romo style of like calls the play, but it's the pitcher doing the calling the play. It'd be
Hmm.
kind of neat in terms of the pitcher doing that
Yeah,
for
to
the
know what's
audience.
coming.
Yeah, but I do
Yeah.
like that moving back the mound. It never occurred to me to do that. So that's definitely one of those things that might be beneficial to because let's just get honest and we'll segue into mine. Baseball
Yeah.
is boring to watch
Okay.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It just is, period. It's just boring to watch. And that's why football is so superior, is because it's just boom. It's like it's all there at all
When
the
there's
same time.
action, there's action. And even in a baseball inning, you could go several minutes in a row with guys just throwing pitches and nothing happens.
Yep. So my first of my game breaking things is to switch it up, and we're going little league innings 7. That's it.
Oh,
You got
So
7
faster.
innings.
You think faster?
Faster, and it counts more. Every at bat is more important. You're getting now that's going to mess up relievers, pitchers, that whole dynamic, and then obviously the amount that people are getting paid. The games are,
right.
either
There's
way,
commercial money and there's
blah
yeah.
blah blah. There's
Yeah, for
lots
the
going
sake of
on.
this exercise, though, let's just take the idea for what it is. Yeah.
7 innings,
Yeah.
7 innings to get through it a little bit faster. And we're moving at a faster clip, and people are pitcher, just all of that. It's more important. Every at bat, everything is more important. It's heightened.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as you're saying this, what makes the NFL so far superior to other sport is that it can be hyped and it's like longer waiting times between the games, right? Like it's so easy to, like, for example, what's a terrible NFL franchise? Like the Jaguars. They've been bad for a while now,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But if you're like a Jaguars fan, you're down there, you're thinking it's once a week, and you have a little bit of hope. Oh, maybe this week may not be as bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But honestly,
Right.
where it's like,
Right.
the Cardinals play every single day. Like we lose like a heartbreaker in Miami. You're like, okay, well, we're gonna play them tomorrow. So
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like there
Yeah.
is no, there's just less time investment. Like to your point with like shortening it down, but that's the NFL. You get once a week. You gotta watch it. People talk about it. Hype
So
it
we're
up all
talking.
week.
Are we talking the difference between dropping your entire season and streaming all at the same time, or week by week? Like, is that the same argument we're having here?
I think it's pretty close. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't want to take the spotlight away from the reduced games because they clearly are onto that by shortening it. By there's less
that has helped.
disengagements.
Well,
That
let's
has
just go straight into my second one of 7 innings, and
Okay.
we're taking 62 games out of the entire.
That's what I thought you were going.
Yeah, I
Right.
did too.
Shorter innings, 100 games, and to make up for some of that, they have an in season where it's how basketball
Like the NBA,
done.
the in-season tournament.
Here we go. It's more like Little League, in which your AAA team comes up, and you have to have at least 15 players inside your roster of your AAA team
Man.
come up and play.
Wow.
And so you maybe can expand the roster to maybe 30 guys. What are the playoff rosters? Like they do like 30 guys and you pick 25 or something like that.
Yeah, I think
26.
26.
So maybe we expand the roster or something like that, and they have to make a decision. So that I don't know. You guys can kind of help me what the benefit, just kind of a hype, like how the NBA kind of did that slow burn where there's like a week set aside and all these games are towards that in the standings. I don't know what the games would represent. I don't know like what you could tease, but to get I guess I have a third thing, and all kind of ties together. Is the winners, the AAA guys, they get paid, right? Take care of some of the minor league guys. So 7 innings, 100 games, in season,
something.
AAA, kind of show off your best AAA guys. They have to be up on the roster, and maybe some type of like financial bonus to the AAA guys.
What do you think about that, Matt?
I'm trying to think of what the realistic impact of that would be, and I kind of wonder if both of these together are going to suppress offense, because like your starting pitchers, if it's only a 7 inning game, first of all, these guys are only throwing 5 or 6 innings tops now.
Oh,
You
sorry. Another caveat. Thank you.
okay?
Sick brain
Yeah.
is that you have to implement little league style throwing innings pitched and balls thrown. You can't you can't because it's so short because it's only 7 because you could just have like maybe the bullpen would have to be it would completely change the game. You'd have to change maybe how many guys are in the bullpen, how many starting pitchers you have, stuff like that. But it's something like that because you're right. It would just absolutely like you come out and have guys throwing 100 because they only have to throw 3 innings.
Well, I think you've just morphed Major League Baseball into a different sport. But
it's got to change. It's boring. It's so boring.
As far as what you're talking about with like less is more, I do buy that argument. I mean, I think the purists would say
it's
that
too
like
long, man.
this is what baseball is. It's all summer. You like the flow of the game. And I think there are probably people who like it for that. But in a society that's more splintered with its entertainment options, maybe there is something to the scarcity, bringing additional value to each time you go out and play.
Yeah, I noticed this year when I was looking at their schedule the other day, it looks like they're lining up a lot of Thursdays to be the days off.
Okay.
Which I don't know that I've ever seen them, like the schedule makers, do that, where there's like a consistent day off, which is interesting. If you could just do like you always have Tuesday, Thursdays off, or like there's something. Maybe it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you just play on the weekends. People could watch it.
That's like college baseball. They do that.
Something like, and I know I agree. I enjoy baseball being on every day because I watch it all. I just throw it on something and watch it. But if you're trying to grow it and it be a better product to watch, I mean, that is taking it out of the NFL's book or one of these other highly, rated sports.
Yes.
Is that you just have less of it and people tune in more. I think that what they need to do is they need to take they need to take the minor leagues and they need to try to implement all this stuff down there. I know that's what they do. They use it to test. But like, what does it really do if the minor league guys play half the amount of games or 30 less games? Like, do people stay healthier? Do offenses do better? Right? Do
pitchers better? That would be my suspicion, is the pitching would get better. But we don't know until somebody tries it.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting thought process because I mean, people were laughing at the NBA for doing the in-season tournament. Like, people loved it.
It's good, man. Yeah,
they kind of like the different court. You could do something with the field. You could, just something for people to talk about.
Yes.
Even if it's just like, did you guys see how ugly the Celtics court was?
Yeah.
Like at least it's getting.
I think the players also the players kind of get Travis Kelce has been talked about like turning into playoff mode. Every single athlete. LeBron in playoffs, like there's playoff XYZ. People just turn on a different switch whenever you ratchet up that. And so if the players kind of feel that, that's what I mean. Like something to like in the middle of the grind, like here's like something to like
to
really bite
up.
down on. Let's go, boys, for the players themselves.
Yeah. Jonathan, give us another one.
Yeah. I have, I'll save this one towards the end. This one's one of my crazier ones, but now hearing Andy's, I think it's a very
I was about to say I just tore down half the league.
We just got the crazy's been out of the bag. We're good.
Mine's lukewarm. It's been on the counter for like 2 hours.
Okay.
No, I think if you keep the league the way it is, right. I would try to move the trade deadline back from, it's typically like August 1st, July 31st. That makes it 2 months left of the season. I would move it back to June 30th, a month to the
Interesting.
left.
Okay. Why?
I would do that because I would try to actively give teams less time to bulk up at the end of the season for a playoff run. I would try to encourage teams to make their moves in the offseason, and your team is your team.
Okay.
And because here's the thing. If you're like Andrew Friedman of the Dodgers has been on record saying he doesn't want to buy in July. He doesn't want to buy later on because the price of everything is way higher.
Right.
Well, they could. He doesn't want to, but they could. So if they're one, say somebody goes down and they need a closer, Helsley, okay, and they're just like, well, Cardinals, listen, we can just buy Helsley from you. Well, that's kind of cheap, right?
Yeah.
You don't know that you might need that on June 30th. I think the reason I'm thinking this is it maybe just makes things a little more fair. You know what you have in spring training. You still can trade for people on the 30th, but you maybe don't know all of your holes quite yet, but you still can trade. I just think it would help less of the bulking up at the end of the year.
Well, and you kind of get this thing where like teams fall out of the race and then they just like become a farm system for the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Phillies. And and more teams will be in it still on June 30th than there will be on July 31st. So you have that too. Like if they haven't fallen out of the race and they're not just trading all their guys off because they're on the end of their contract deals. Yeah. I think there's something to that too.
I'm not trying to cap trades at the knee because that's fun. People enjoy that. I get it, but I think I just really would like for people to be like, this is our team this season, right? And like we're gonna ride with them or call people up from the minors or like be more reliant on that as opposed to like you said, the Marlins are 2-40. Looks like they're who's gonna get Jazz Chisholm, who's gonna get Marcell Ozuna, all that that happened. This happened for years, so it's gonna happen with Skeens too at some point. Like that's gonna happen. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I've got two. I'm going to just give you one, but I'm smuggling in two together. And these are two changes that I'd like to see both go in at the same time. I want there to be a salary floor where you have to spend a minimum amount of money on your team. And I also want there to be increased revenue sharing. So I don't want to say make baseball more communist, but here's to me, this is where we're at. There are multiple inputs that you need for success. You need good players, good planning, good scouting, money, etc. We've got a few of these teams, and we've discussed this, but a few of these teams at the very top where that money and resources input is so skewed in a direction, like these other teams just can't match it.
Yep. No, they're
what I'm thinking of,
just turn off the cap and they just
do
a bunch of stuff. That's what they're doing. Video game stuff.
Let's blunt that one advantage. To me, that's the least interesting advantage for there to be. Congratulations, your city is big. Good job. The more interesting inputs are scouting and making good decisions and having a good coaching staff, and that can any team could do that. Not every team can do this money thing. So if we force a floor and we force additional revenue sharing, I just think you're blunting that advantage. I don't want to see a salary cap because I think that's just going to hurt the players. And look, I realize everybody in this industry is overpaid to play a kid's game, but the money's there. And so I don't want more of it to go to the owners. I'd like the players to get as much of it as they can.
That was one of mine.
Okay. Was it?
That was 100. I mean, that was going to be my last one because I figured we'd talk about it. But
yeah,
I put salary cap not because I want to hurt the players. I agree with the way you've laid that out. That is what I would want to do. Because I think ultimately the elephant in the room here. I almost said white elephant. The Christmas game that we play in the room is the Dodgers are going to ruin baseball.
Yep.
They're going to. They're going to. I don't even hate what they're doing because they are doing what is
going to ruin or ruined.
Right it's ruining it right now. Right. It's currently in the ruining process. Because you're just going to nobody in the world was surprised that Roki Sasaki went there.
Nope.
No, right.
Nobody was surprised that Yamamoto went there. Nobody. Right. So it's is that the Dodgers' fault as it stands right now? No, but they're just going to keep spending and spending and spending because they're going to have a whole country who backs the Dodgers, right? That's their other source of revenue is an entire country. So you have,
and that's smart for the Dodgers. They're doing exactly
Absolutely.
What they should be doing.
I agree. I agree.
But that's what I'm saying is the Dodgers have broken this one input where there's a few teams that can get close, but 25 teams just will never, ever get to that level. And to me, then that's not a sport. That's something else. That's something different. So I don't mean this to be controversial, but I'm just going to make baseball communist, honestly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be $1-for-$1 revenue sharing, but let's not have these teams they're just competing in different worlds. We have to stop doing that as much.
I agree. Andy, is that what you think?
100%. And I had a few people, just one, asked me about the deferred money. Asked me about that, and why do they do that? And I was like, well, think about it this way. Here's my thought on the deferred subject is. It's like inflation. $10 million today is not worth 10 million 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So Ohtani's
so why would the player defer money? He's going to get $40 million in 20 years when it's worth more. Well, worth less. Worth less. Yeah. So it's hurting the players, right?
Hurting the players.
And the clubhouse it's the same reason why it's better, I guess, if we win the lottery ever to take it all up front because it's worth less money. 25K or whatever that is spread out over time is worth less in the end than it is today.
So the players do it because they want to win, right?
Yes.
And it's if you can say,
it's still a bunch of money.
I mean, think about it this way: Ohtani could have made $700 million up front and played for whoever he wanted to. But he's like, maybe I'll just in collective terms, I'll make 650 million, still asinine amount of money.
Yeah.
And play in the Dodgers and win or be in the competition every single year. I mean, it's a no question, right? That's why these guys do it.
I didn't write this one down, but I would absolutely axe the deferred money. I realize there are reasons why people do it, and some.
Well,
things
you'd have to if you implemented like a floor or something, like some type. Because right now it's the Wild West, right? In MLB, like there's no
Shohei Ohtani makes $2 million a year.
I mean, like deferring, like it doesn't
salary floor, salary cap.
There's a luxury tax.
Right.
Yep,
yeah,
nothing. They're just
so
whatever
let's
they
just
want
go
to
into
do.
that real quick for this, like the casual person.
Yeah,
like you spend over X amount. Does anybody know the dollar amount off the top of your head?
It's like 210 million. It changes from year to year based on how much money that has been brought in by baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's make it real easy. 200 million.
Sure.
Yeah, it's 200 mil. So is that like every dollar spent over 200 million on all your players, right? That's what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm. There are gradients to it. The tax gets heavier if you repeatedly go over that threshold. The tax gets heavier if you spend like above that threshold.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's different ways they've tried. There are ways they're trying to do this, but I just think we have to get much more radical.
Blow up
with
the system, right?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to band-aid it.
Yeah, the millionaires and the billionaires. We'll just do it Bernie Sanders on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you sign a guy, like you're over that tax threshold, you're over the threshold, and you sign a guy to a $2 million contract, he's still making $2 million, but the team's paying $12 million,
right?
Because they're over and they're trying to penalize them.
Yeah, I see. So it's like your wage and then your wage plus income tax or whatever tax, payroll tax.
Yeah,
there
just
it
a
is.
fee, right? Yeah. So they're going to have to do something with that because that is ultimately everybody's like, well, it's baseball, 7-game series, anything can happen. Look at the Diamondbacks last year; they made it all the way. These improbable teams.
It doesn't mean the Dodgers are going to win every single year.
No, but what I'm saying is though, you're going to get to a point where their entire lineup is like, oh my. And their pitching staff, like, what is Shohei, their fifth pitcher right now?
Yeah, I know, exactly. They're perennial all-stars up and down the lineup.
Right.
Yeah,
they have guaranteed they are going to be in the playoffs in a strong position. You can't guarantee a World Series, but no. I don't know when they're not going to be in the playoffs. That's the problem, is it's just every team has a window, but the Dodgers have like a panoramic window, just stretches on and on and on and on and on. Yeah.
Yeah. They have endless amount of credit. And that's what's going to kill this, because I remember in the NBA, if you do a quick little comparison, when the Warriors, after they lost
with Durant
and they signed Durant, they signed him. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the Warriors and the Heat for the next X amount of years, or then it's going to be the Warriors and the Cavs next year, because those are the only two teams that really had anybody. You're going to get to a point where it's like annoying to do this.
I have
the Dodgers
heard,
every year. It's the Dodgers.
I've heard people from around here, casual people saying that they're in tune enough, I guess. So I don't know how casual they are. That said, they are not going to go support baseball until they implement something. They will not go to a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it. Yeah. I mean, I think people are already getting irritated by seeing the Chiefs like the other sport. I mean, they are, and they're not spinning out of their mind. It's just, so you just get to this point where it's like when people start to feel like it's unfair, they're to your point, Andy, they're not going to show up. They're not going to want to spend any money or buy a jersey or whatever,
Right. You're always going to have some teams that are better than other teams, but let's let that happen because they drafted guys, they developed guys, they made smart moves. Let's not just do it because this team is has an unlimited bank to just sign players, and it doesn't matter if they make a mistake with a big contract, they'll just do another one. No big deal.
So let me ask you this here. So the Dodgers are really the only team who is really taking advantage of this.
Well, right? I mean the Mets too. The Mets spent a
Yankees.
lot of money. They're just not as well run as the Dodgers, maybe.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say so if you're not the other S tier, places, S tier. So you're the Dodgers, you're the Mets, you're the Yankees, you are the Cubs,
maybe Giants, maybe Red Sox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you not all jumping headfirst into this stuff? Think about it. Like, did you hear what the Cubs owner said the other day?
No, go ahead.
He said something like, well, basically, we're just trying to break even with revenue, and people are laughing at them, being like, you do realize you're in the third largest city in the country, and you don't have to operate like you're the Cleveland Guardians. You need to operate like you're the Dodgers.
Right.
So I guess my question is, why are these other huge market teams not doing this, and it's just the Dodgers? Does it come down to just who runs them? Like, they're just not that smart?
Yeah, I don't know the background of the owners and their personal finances and all
Yeah.
that good kind of stuff. But no, you're right. It should be more than just the Dodgers. But even if you're in the S tier, then you just have 6 teams playing. I mean, I guess it's
Yeah.
more fair because it's not just one team doing this, but it's still, again, the Guardians, the Pirates, the Marlins, like
Yeah.
those people in those cities, they didn't do anything wrong, right? To live where they want to live. Let's
Yeah,
just let
it's true.
these franchises make good baseball decisions and not money decisions. This is not Major League money. It's Major League Baseball. Let's make
Yeah.
good baseball decisions.
What do you think? I was just thinking about this too. What do you think about? I don't even know the steps they would do to change this money thing. I think you could do it, but how do you pay those contracts out? Like, what do you
Yeah.
do now that it's been done? What
Yeah.
if you implement quickly to help change it? Is you expand the playoff teams to more teams?
Okay.
You give more chances for a
Right.
team like that to fall, because right now, as it stands, there is you got your 3 division winners,
Yep.
right? And there are was it 2 wild card teams or 3? Was it 3 this year?
3, yeah, no,
There's
there's
3.
6
They play-
teams.
yeah,
6
they
teams
play,
in
yeah.
each league.
6 teams.
You could go to 8.
That's what I'm
easily.
saying. What if you
know,
go
it's
to
a better
8, like-
bracket?
Exactly. So you know it's going to be like in the NL, it's going to be the
Yeah.
Dodgers, it's going to be the Mets, maybe even
Yeah.
the Braves. Like
Which
we don't
is
forget
what-
about the Braves, right?
Isn't this what the NBA does? They went up to 8, and both
No,
teams
it's
have to play
10.
wild cards. Is it 10?
Yeah, now
There's
it's
a
10.
play-in game now where
Mhm.
it's
2
9 and
playing
10
games, right? Or
Yeah.
something, and then
Mhm.
that winner goes to play. Yeah.
So
Something like that.
maybe you do that to dilute it a little bit, because like you honestly you never know, if you catch the Dodgers sleeping, you might some dumb team might win. Like
Yeah.
it's happened before. So I don't know. Maybe there's something like that you could do to get more teams in the process. Like in the.
I mean, the
mix.
bottom line is you have to
Right.
do something about this, and it's going to be painful, and all the answers might not be the easiest thing to swallow, but you just have to do something because we're getting to this place where it's just not going to be fair. So
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. One last thing on, because I've been thinking
Sure.
about the Dodgers quite a bit, just because you see a lot of Dodgers hats. You
Yeah,
see a lot.
sure.
Now that is kind of like the Yankees and the Dodgers, like it's sort of like a fashion thing.
Yeah.
Like you see them in like stores, like not like sports stores, just like regular clothing stores. It's like, why are there Dodgers and Yankees hats? Well, it's just kind of a fashion thing.
Yeah.
But anywho, the I wonder, like with Ichiro getting in the Hall of Fame, right?
Mhm.
Did Seattle just completely miss being the Dodgers because
They
they
could've.
had the Japanese star?
Yeah, and it's just I think it speaks to like it's difficult to keep this continually going, and the Dodgers are breaking baseball through no fault of their own. So
I know.
So anyway, those are our ideas for like maybe better competitive nature and increasing the MLB as far as the culture goes. But we do want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown today, your go-to spot for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show to help us grow our community. Check us out on Spotify and Apple, and check us out for all the latest news, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Until next time, keep your rally caps on, and of course, let's go Cards.